All right. Good morning, Red. Good morning, old school Texas Tech. It's about 7:20 in the Southern Hemisphere this morning. I've got four games I want to watch today and several others I want to keep an eye on. How are you doing, Red?
All good here, man. I just hope we have a better week than we did last week.
Yeah, that was a downer, but I think we're going to bounce back just fine.
Yeah, we have
We
a
need we need Arizona State to go down, and we need Cincinnati to go down because if they go down and we win, then we control our own destiny. We don't control our own destiny right now. If Arizona State and Cincinnati win out, it's my understanding we would not, even if we went 11-1, we would not make the title game.
which is kind of weird to me. I didn't even realize that Cincinnati was undefeated in Big 12 play. There's a lot of games left. I don't see them both winning out. I just don't. So,
I got to
oh,
look at the math on that though, because hasn't Arizona State has Arizona State only lost? I guess they've only lost one conference game to Utah.
yeah, they got annihilated by Utah, which made, but I know that they didn't have their starting quarterback, blah, blah, blah. But anyway, yeah, I think I think we're tied for fourth place in the Big 12 just by losing one game because
I know. Yeah.
BYU's at the top, Cincinnati's at the top. Arizona State would have the tiebreaker, so I think we're technically in fourth place right now, which is shocking. But hey,
I think I'd have to look at the schedule, but I think Cincinnati has to play both Utah schools. I think. I think they do. That's gonna be tough.
bottom line is there's a lot of football left to be played. There's no way they're all going to
Yeah.
go undefeated. I just don't. No,
No, no, I agree. I agree. It's gonna be mayhem at the end.
totally
All
agree.
right. So I spent 2 hours this morning. So if you guys would please like and subscribe to the channel. I spent 2 hours this morning going through our records. We actually, I feel pretty good about our picks this season so far. I think we've got a pretty good track record. We don't have all the bells and whistles of some of the other YouTube channels, but we're picking games pretty good. Jordan's record for the season 61-17. My record for the season 62-16, just one game difference. And we've both had some pretty good weeks. I actually had one undefeated week, and you've had several where you only lost one game. So we're putting out some pretty good predictions here.
As long as I have one more win than you at the end of the year, that's all I care about, my man.
Well, I got you pretty good. I got you pretty good
Better,
last year, but
I better double check your math. Make sure you're not cheating.
you can double check. You're free to go to take. You want to take 2 hours to go through all that. I'm hydrating because I watched the only other team in the state of Texas that I give a damn about. I watched UNT beat Charlotte last night, which was congratulations to the Mean Green. That was a nice win.
They're having a good season. For some reason I thought you were a Texas Longhorns fan. I'm sorry. I'm getting my teams.
Oh my gosh, you're gonna get us kicked off YouTube. I don't even know what to say to that. At least you haven't accused me of being an A&M or TCU fan. That's even worse.
At that point, I would disown you and delete you and block you on every possible platform, especially that piece.
Of course. I mean, I wouldn't blame you. All right, let's get going. We got first game, Kansas State at Kansas in Lawrence.
Interesting. Oh, these two hate each other. I mean,
Yeah, big rivalry.
this is the most important rivalry in the state of Kansas. So I think I Kansas State's been up and down. They're a physical team. I'm only gonna go with Kansas because they're the home team right now. This one I feel like is a complete. What's the spread? Two, 1.5.
3.5. Kansas is favored by 3.5.
Really, 3.5. That's higher than I would have expected. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that I think Kansas will narrowly win this one. It
Okay.
wouldn't shock me if Kansas State did pull it out. If it was a Kansas State, I'd pick Kansas State.
Okay. BYU at Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 2.5.
Interesting. That's another good. These are okay. So these are two pretty good games to kick off. To say these are both 11 a.m. Huh?
I believe just the Kansas State Kansas game, but I'm not. 100% sure. No, I'll tell you the game that's 11 a.m. is the Baylor Cincinnati game. That's another one. We'll get to that one. Let's
Yeah,
not
yeah,
confuse it.
yeah,
But who do you have on BYU at Iowa State? I think
yeah.
that's a more of a mid-afternoon game.
I know it's at home and Iowa State's favorite, but I'm going to take BYU to keep rolling because I want them. I mean, I truly believe they'll be undefeated when they come and meet their doom next weekend.
No, it'd be 2 weeks. We play
I
K-State next week in Manhattan.
was thinking for some reason. Okay, I'm getting my weekends mixed up.
Yeah, yeah, which is a scary game, but we'll get to that next week.
I'm gonna.
Oklahoma State at Texas Tech. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm gonna take BYU to continue winning.
Okay. Oklahoma State at Texas Tech. The spread is 37 and a half points. It was 36 and a half last night. I've seen
Okay.
it as high as 38, but it's 37 and a half the last time I checked before this recording.
Well, Oklahoma State looks like a high school team, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with Texas Tech on this one. I feel sorry for them. They're going to
I
get.
don't. I don't feel sorry. I don't feel sorry for them. Considering the game where we lost, what was like 69-3 back like 15 years ago. Um, I saw a really funny Twitter message. It said I guess there were two Oklahoma State offensive players who entered the portal on Thursday, and somebody goes, "This defense has got people quitting the Thursday before the games."
Well, hopefully it's not the defense that showed up against Arizona State.
I don't blame the defense for that game. I blame the offense for that game.
And that's fair, but I will still say that that quarterback still threw for 300 plus. I know the run game. Anyway,
Oh
that's
no, he's fantastic, and they played great. But Arizona State's defense actually played really well too.
well,
Uh,
they
yeah,
played extremely well. It was shocking how well they played.
yeah. All
Please.
right, Baylor at Cincinnati.
Oh, now this is an interesting game. Unfortunately, as much as I know most of our Tech fans really hate Baylor, I don't, only because I don't know if I've ever said this with my other. I have two brothers. The other brother did go to Baylor, and he doesn't talk smack. He's funny. He pulls for Tech a little bit. So I, unlike all the other Tech fans, don't have a vitriol hatred for Baylor. Family tie, but I don't think they're going to win in Cincinnati. I hope they do, but they're not. I'm going to take Cincinnati.
Okay, line on that game's 3.5.
Okay, so we got some pretty close spreads on all of these. I mean, 3.5
All right,
pretty damn close to being a toss up, right? I mean, 2.5 and under is always a toss up.
I think like anything less than like 3.5 or 4 is a toss up almost.
We'll have to consult our. I have a couple of chronically addicted gambling buddies on.
Yeah, yeah. That only happens to me. It used to happen to me a couple times a year, but when I went to Vegas, but now that I live south of the equator, I don't get to go up to Vegas as much as I used to. All right, we're on TCU at West Virginia. This game is a 17 and a half point spread.
Is there a way that they can both lose? Because I'd like that to be the option. You know, maybe like a large meteor hits the stadium. It's in Fort
You,
Worth.
you have that much hate for West Virginia?
No, I don't really like them that much, but it's TCU that gets it for me.
Yeah. I don't like.
And
Yeah,
you and I
TCU.
have some. You and I have some of the same opponents that we. If I made a bottom five list, yeah,
Yeah.
I could. And I could easily do that on another video if we'd like. But
We might do a video on it one day.
I'm gonna
Um,
TCU is gonna roll. West Virginia's got all kinds of problems right now.
all right. Houston at Arizona State. This line surprises me a little bit. Arizona State's favored by 7.5, but they've got two key injuries. Their defensive ends out, and that wide receiver, I believe his name's Tyson, he's out.
Uh
So,
oh, that
yeah,
Tyson kid was a problem last week.
yeah.
You know, I have to, here's what I think is going to happen. I think I'm going to take I'll take Arizona State at home, but I have a feeling they did what we did. We shot out all of our energy against Kansas, putting them into the dirt, and then we came out a little lethargic. Don't be surprised if Arizona State's a little lethargic today or barely squeaks out a win. They're not going to match
Right.
the intensity 2 weeks in a row. They're just not. Big bad number 7 came to town. They had a good day. We had an off day. I have a feeling they're going to have a hangover today. I almost want to pick
Yeah.
Arizona, or Houston for that, but I'm going to stick with Arizona State and say they're too good of a coach to let up today. They're gonna win a closer one than people think against Houston.
I don't think they're into hangovers. From the video I saw, it looks like they're into smoking big joints at the end of the game after after
I'm
beating
not at
us.
all surprised by that, especially that coach. I can totally see that. Him doing God knows what kind of narcotics. Who knows?
You think he might be on the you think he might be next on this the gambling ring that's going down in the NBA? You think he might be next?
He might, man. I just remember him whining a little bit in the game last week. So yeah,
Yeah, he's a little bit of a whiner. I'm not a fan.
that
Um,
hey, all I'm gonna say is that fourth down roughing the passer call where we held on 4th and goal is what that still pisses me off. That was one of the
there's there,
That was
there's some
one of the worst calls, and that was the difference in the final score. There's multiple things there. I've never been one to blame the refs for any of these games, but that was an absolutely ridiculous call. These refs suck. So it wouldn't surprise me if the refs were in on the gambling. Let's arrest all the Big 12 referees. They all suck.
uh, you never I felt you know how I felt about Big 12 officials for a long time.
Yeah, who
Um,
knows? Let's investigate them in the gambling. You know
uh, uh, you,
they're
uh,
so bad, dude.
I know you're kind of saying it tongue in cheek, but I'm kind of halfway serious. But anyway, so you got Arizona State, then the last one, Colorado at Utah. Utah's a 13.5 point favorite.
I don't even think that's going to be a contest. I think Utah is going to slap Colorado around. That physical style versus that finesse thing. And I don't think Dion's had a couple good wins this year, but I think they're still 3-5, aren't they?
I'm sorry, I don't have that information right in front of
Okay,
me.
that's okay. I'm gonna roll with Utah on that one.
I think they have one Big 12 conference win, right? Colorado. They beat
They beat Iowa State. I saw that one at half.
yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty impressive win.
That
That
was
was
a
a
good. Dion
yeah.
will pull a game or two like that every year, but
Yeah, okay.
he's getting his comeuppance without his kid and that goofy guy that grins all the time. I'm drawing a blank on his name all of a sudden.
The Heisman Trophy winner,
Yeah.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter. That's it. I couldn't think of
He
his
was
name.
a problem, you can say whatever you want about what his pro career, but Shador Sanders was a good college quarterback.
He was a
He
good college
was.
quarterback. Annoying, but a good college quarterback. Oh, sorry.
So now this is the fourth time that you and I have not talked about it, and we have the exact same picks. So I'll go ahead and explain mine. I came very, and there are like several of these where I came very close to going the other way, but I decided not to. I almost picked Kansas State. I know we were talking about Matt Wells, but his offense is suddenly starting to do pretty well. But I just think Kansas is going to be a little bit too much for them in Lawrence, and that's saying a lot because K-State's really owned this series. I mean, they've really owned it. I don't know what the numbers are, but they've completely dominated this series. I've got BYU over Iowa State. I almost picked Iowa State because they're the home team. I just think I agree with you. I have a feeling. I forget who BYU plays next week. Somebody can put it in the comments on YouTube if they want. But I forget who BYU plays next week. But I have a feeling BYU is going to come to Lubbock undefeated. Um, Oklahoma State at Tech, that's a no-brainer. I think I was listening to another tech podcaster. He said there's going to be some business decisions made in the second half for Tech with injuries and stuff. So it's going to be really hard. We'll get to it in a second. It's going to be really hard to pick the score because this should be such a blowout that who knows who are going to even play in the second half or fourth quarter or whatever. I've got Cincinnati beating Baylor, but I came this close to picking Baylor to win. I just think Baylor's they're kind of due for a big win, but it is in Cincinnati, and Cincinnati's playing really tough right now. So I went ahead and picked Cincinnati. TCU at West Virginia. I don't. I think TCU. I think you made a comment when one of our recent videos that TCU is much better at home. I'm not sure if I was betting against the spread on this one, I think I'd probably take West Virginia and 17 and a half points because I think TCU won't do that great on the road, but I do think they're going to win the game. So I'm picking them. I really, really, really want Houston to beat Arizona State after I thought they were quite arrogant after that win last week, which they barely won. They got pretty lucky. Let's be honest. We didn't play well, but they got pretty lucky. But I think Arizona State's going to beat Houston. And then I agree. I think Colorado is not a good match for Utah. I think Utah is going to win that game at home.
All makes sense to me, my man.
All right. So what do you think of more detail? It's kind of hard to pick a game like this. What do you think score wise and how we're going to play today against Oklahoma State?
I mean, I've thought about this one, and I remember that game. I think it was either 2011 or 2012. I think it was 2012, where
I thought it was 2011, but I'm not sure.
they came in and they had that quarterback that was like 30 years old. So now he would be like what, 50?
Yeah, he played in the pros for a while. I forget his name.
He played for the
Uh,
Cowboys for a bit, and we all know how Jerry Jones is at picking players.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I remember they beat us. It was like between 66 and 69-3. I remember that vividly.
I think it was 69-3. I think it was.
And that was with Mr. Tuberville, who I still don't understand how is a senator of the great United States of America. It's truly baffling to me.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, even though he's closer to my political persuasion than others, but I still don't like him at all.
That's fair. I think you and millions of other Tech fans, but I think today I'd like to. I feel sorry for Oklahoma State in the sense that we just lost on the road and played a horrible game. We're coming home and we're going to be an absolutely pissed off football team. So
Yeah,
they that's more or less where I was going with this. I'm going to be a little bit more conservative in the final score, even though I'm going to say Texas Tech 45-14. I think they will tack on one late. By they, I mean Oklahoma State to make it look 45-14. I think it'll literally be 45-7 in the third quarter, basically game over. We empty the bench, get a bunch of guys playing, just kind of run the or try to run the game clock out. I'm going to say 45-14. I could see it being a little bit higher, but I think that's what's going to happen. I am concerned,
so
but
yeah,
I'll
go
just say
ahead, go
this.
ahead.
I've been a little bit concerned with what I've seen from the offense in recent weeks, and by that, I feel like one of our biggest issues last week, pass protection was a big problem, and our receivers don't feel like they're getting open like they usually do. That won't be a problem,
Yeah,
but the receivers have felt like they've been covered a lot more, and therefore Hammond has a much smaller window to throw. So
yeah, yeah. Receivers need to play better. I've got this is impossible to predict because who knows what their they've got some strategy, I'm sure, because I'm sure that none of the coaches on the tech staff think this is going to be a close game, and probably none of the coaches on the Oklahoma State staff think it's going to be a close game either. So I've got 63-17. I think it could be just a complete blowout, but it totally depends on how quickly Tech jumps ahead. Do they put the third string quarterback in? How well does Hammond play? Can we run the ball? We should be able to run the ball at will. Oklahoma State's got numbers problems. They've still got people transferring this week. I mean, that's got to affect their game plan to lose a couple players just 2 days before the game. So I don't know. I think it's a really hard score to predict, but if it's not a blowout, we've got problems.
agreed.
Yeah,
And I think I'm being more conservative in the score, even though I think it'll probably be worse. But I think I agree with you. If it ends
yeah.
up, 28-7 us in the fourth quarter, I'm going to be deeply concerned for the rest of the season.
Yeah, yeah. If that, if not, it may need to be even more than that for me not to be concerned.
Yeah, Oklahoma State. I've got some friends. There's a lot of Oklahoma State alumni in Dallas, and they're some of the nicest people you'll meet, or at least some of the ones that I know. I could think of about half a dozen people, but
I like Oklahoma State all right when they're
Yeah,
not
I
playing
do
Tech.
too. I do too. But they have fallen on really hard times. Like this is a dark period for their program. Like,
Yeah, we've been through it too.
yep.
It'll be interesting to see who they get as pick as the next head coach. It's gonna be really interesting.
Eric Morris. Sorry.
You think
Sorry.
so? You
No,
think he looked good? They looked good last night.
I've got a buddy that went to North Texas. He goes to all the games. He's like kind of a semi booster for him, and
Yeah,
he's excited. He wasn't too excited after that South Florida game, but I don't mind North Texas. I don't.
yeah, they looked good last night. All right, enjoyed it. Enjoy all the games today, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, old school.